This is a new Defender, a disgrace to the Land Rover bloodline in some British eyes, because it has a unibody structure, air springs, front and rear double wishbones, and a lot of electric equipment. But having driven it, I thought this Defender is what a modern off-roader should be, which is comfortable, smart, powerful in off-road, and suitable for every scenario. As for those Asian farming equipment, well, it's better for them to be in own money's garage or a museum. And today, let's see how the Chinese interpret this new definition of hardcore off-roader. This is a Bao5 from Fangchengbao Auto, a modern off-road vehicle made by BYD. At first glance, it looks quite traditional. It has a body-on-frame structure, front and rear differential locks, and a longitudinal engine layout. But actually, it's quite a rebel on the inside. It has no traditional gearbox, no transmission shaft, and only has an electro-dominant plug-in powertrain. Which means all of the power of this hardcore off-roader comes from two evil electric motors, only with a teeny bit of help from a tiny 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Well, can it be a real deal? And that's what we're going to find out today. I'm Harris, you're watching Matt EV. It's a known fact that EV is not great for off-roading, as it can get overheated quite easily, it cannot produce peak torque for an extended period of time, and it cannot distribute power between front and rear. While a traditional internal combustion engine offers more reliable and sustained performance in harsh conditions, and a conventional four-wheel drive system provides more flexible torque distribution. But BYD gave us a straightforward solution: power. The Bao5 has a DMO plug-in hybrid system with a whopping 505 kilowatts of power, including a 200 kilowatts front axle P3 motor and a 255 kilowatts rear axle P4 motor. So in most scenarios where traditional engines will push to their limits, you won't even get to use the peak power of this car. With that problem out of the way, the advantages of electric motors become evident: strong torque, instant response, linear output, and immunity to altitude changes. And thanks to the low energy consumption, the Bao5 can have a maximum range of 1,200 kilometers. In addition, to enhance low-speed climbing capability, the vehicle's rear axle motor is equipped with a low gear, a total gear ratio of 21, resulting in a maximum wheel torque of 8,000 Nm. To ensure power stability at low battery, the P1 generator can provide a maximum power of 150 kilowatts, preventing battery depletion in the first place. And to deal with the entire electric drive system failing in extreme cases, the engine can also drive the wheels directly. So if we ignore electric motors, this Bao5 is the world's first front-wheel drive body-on-frame vehicle. About power, there's an interesting saying among gamers, adopted from a famous line in supernatural horror in literature. The oldest and strongest kind of fear is the fear of being underarmed. In the context of this car, it means when you have nearly 700 horsepower on the right foot, you won't have to worry about, well, pretty much everything. The only thing you have to pay attention to is your own safety. Speaking of safety, let's talk about the most dangerous thing in a beehive: battery. It's a known fact that the center of ladder frame is the most dangerous part, because during off-road, that is where it's most likely to get hit. So whether it's a Defender P-Hive, Wrangler 4xe, or the Tank 500 Hi4-T we reviewed, all has the battery in the rear and above the frame. But BYD did not back up. They insisted on putting the most dangerous thing in the most dangerous place. You might want to call it a suicide mode, but hear me out. Because the Bao5 is based on cell-to-chassis technology, so the lowest point is still the chassis, which can provide some protection. And there's a double-layered ski plate that can withstand 1,200 joules of impact. We can't test that here, of course, but theoretically, it should be safe enough. With that problem out of the way, the advantages of this layout become evident. a higher space utilization, a lower center of gravity, a more balanced weight distribution, and a stronger anti-twist body rigidity. About strength and rigidity, I am not superstitious about transition. If the body of the off-roader can be tough enough, just like in the new Defender, I don't really mind if it's body or frame. In the same way, if the cover underneath the battery is rock hard, I don't see why it can't be a good idea. You see, what really matters is the result. Speaking of result, let's find out how this car will really perform in the real world. It's a known fact that front and rear double wishbone suspension is more suitable for overlanding than crawling, but BYD was confident enough to arrange us an off-road park for the test drive. Although the trail we chose wasn't extremely challenging, it was difficult enough to review the off-road capabilities of the Bao 5. Even without altering tires, the vehicle effortlessly completed all tasks, including pits, cross-axle articulation, steep hills, and side slopes. And after driving for over 3 hours in such terrain, there were no twisting noise from the vehicle, and the electric drive system did not experience any malfunction. And if you think the trail is not tough enough, take a look at this. As for the driving experience, the Bao 5 performs exceptionally well. The sensitivity and controllability of the throttle and brake pedals are impressive, especially on steep slopes. The steering feels solid, not too vague on that loose surface, and it's equipped with a range of off-road assistant features, such as automatic mode selection, body attitude detection, and a 360 camera with transparent chassis. Additionally, because it's electrically driven, its low gear can engage even while driving, and you won't experience shudders when lifting the throttle, which typically found in traditional ICE off-roaders. Honestly, after spending the afternoon with the car, I truly feel that it matches the capabilities of the Defender. And thanks to the explosive power of electric drive, it even handles some obstacles more confidently. About off-roading, you've already seen what this car is capable of. And if you think, yes, it's quite impressive, wait till you see it on road. It's a known fact that off-road vehicles are less comfortable on paved roads. Because the body-on-frame structure is heavier and higher, the strong suspension has stiffer coil and heavy unsprung weight, so the comfort on road is limited. But somehow, the Bao 5 seems to have defied the laws of physics. From the hotel I was staying to the off-road park, there's about 100 meters of drive, with half on mountain roads and the other half on highway. I thought it might be an exhausting trip, but from the moment I drove on the mountain roads, I was astonished by the dynamics of this vehicle. While my eyes are telling me that it's a standard off-roader, my hands, ears, and butt are telling me it's a comfortable, quiet, and even somewhat agile car. After spending some time thinking about it, I concluded that such performance is closely tied to the plug-in hybrid architecture. Although the body-on-frame is still very heavy, the big battery pack located centrally greatly lowers the center of gravity, allowing the car to suppress leaning effectively. The additional torsional rigidity brought by the battery pack also effectively increases stability and traction. The double wishbone rear suspension also contributing to the performance. Structurally, it's somewhat compromised design because the motor cannot be combined with the more rugged solid axle rear suspension used in most off-road vehicles. However, in terms of the final result, the double wishbone design does achieve excellent on-road performance, with a lighter unsprung mass and a more stable suspension motion. Of course, what makes the car so stand out on the road is the powerful motors. It might be hard to imagine a nearly 3-ton boxy off-roader can do 0 to 100 in just 4.8 seconds. About daily driving, some so-called hardcore off-road lovers might shout that who will give a damn about how we perform on paved roads? Well, let's not forget, if you want to do some off-roading, you have to drive quite a long way on paved roads first. And you don't want to have deaf ears and shattered bones when you reach your destination. From 2008 till now, BYD has been on the hybrid path for 15 years. Despite facing setbacks such as the unreliability of the DM 1.0, the high energy consumption of DM-P, and the lack of power of DM-I, BYD seems to have accumulated enough experience to create this DMO plug-in hybrid system designed specifically for off-roading. The Fangchengbao Auto Bao5 is not just an electric off-road vehicle, it's more like a positive answer to the question, can electric motors handle off-roading? And don't think of it as just an overpriced prototype. With the performance of Land Rover Defender, energy consumption of Toyota Camry, and practicality of Honda CR-V, it's sold at only 40 to 55 grand in China. With that money, we can't even get a basic Jeep Wrangler. You might think it's less rugged and reliable than the Land Cruiser, Patrol, Pajero, or other iconic off-roaders, but in my opinion, it is more fun to drive and more practical to use. So the question is simple. Would you like a tool that can take you everywhere, or a toy that you can use every day? And if you prefer the latter, this car can be one hell of a choice for you.